Hey guys, welcome to Robin Hood Diaries. As promised, it is going to be the winter look. Retro 1993 for Sean, the way he used to do it. And I'm going to make it a heck of a lot faster so I don't give you a 5-part series. So, I didn't bring anything to wipe on, so I'll just use my shirt. These I need to keep handy, as you know from last night, because certain times I'm going to have to do one of those. Okay, so winter look. Let's see how I start. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I would name the products I'm using, but I don't know if that's like, I don't do these things, so I don't know if that's kosher. So just watch me. So I preview tonight as meeting literally my, I don't know, musical performer, maybe, something like that. By the way, I only work on my eyes first because otherwise I'd be, smudging everything that I did there. Okay, so anyway, I hope I didn't forget anything here. There was a club, and it was called Does Your Mama Know? It was, for its 15 minutes or, well, a good 6 months. It was the place to go. Excuse me if I look away from the camera sometimes. And I don't want to face the mirror to y'all. So this was the literally place to go in about 94. And it was a straight club. I'm only saying that because it is what it is, or was what it was, right? And it was so popular, you guys. In fact, after I met my husband and we knew each other for a while, and oh boy, you guys, I got to do a show about the first time I walked out of the bathroom in drag after I had met my husband. Ooh, that was a weird one. I mean, it wasn't bad weird, but it was weird. Okay, so this club was so infamous, like I said, because I don't know why, but I can tell you that the lines were around the block. Literally, they went into the parking lot because it was, I don't know, whatever, it was that popular. So I was certainly not, as a drag queen, accustomed to waiting in lines. Now, here's the interesting thing about drag back then is, I don't know, I'm sure it's the same way now. I mean, good God, how much could have changed? How could the basics of like club going and club owners and promotions? See, when I was doing drag in the magazines, zines as we call them, these little paper things, where there was no internet, so you had to depend on these zines, which I ended up writing for, to know what the hell was going on. So, where was I? Oh, so, actually this club really, it listed every club, but again, this was really a scene, and I liked to go to it. Oh, I know what I was saying. So drag queens kind of had this weird carte blanche about, going to clubs. I don't know why. Well, I guess it kind of points to what I was saying yesterday about, where's my, oh, there it is. About this cocktail party, like, phenomenon. Okay, so it was like, we talked about how it was really like a novel thing to have drag queens at your cocktail party. Again, it's not like today. There is no cameo, anything, special appearance by for whatever on your Venmo, or Zelle, or PayPal. Who uses PayPal anymore? I guess a lot of people. This was basically a social thing. It didn't get you on the A-list, B-list, or C-list, which is what they had back then, believe it or not. These zines had A-list, B-list, C-list. but they were only based kind of like, I don't know how frequently you went to clubs, for me, which is all the time, although as the C-list girl for start, and like who you knew, like especially did you know like the promoter of that club, so you were kind of like an A-lister. I don't want to make it seem like that, but it's again, what isn't really in the long run who you know, right? Not with everything, but good God, with too many things, right? So this particular club, in this, I don't know, like whatever cisgenre part of the scene, because it was a mixed scene pretty much across the board. But again, this club, Does Your Mama Know? It wasn't like some of the rough trade scenes that I was used to. Again, I'm putting this on first, which I really shouldn't. I said I was going to do the eyes, but I like to let, believe it or not, even though I don't want to screw this up, but I wouldn't be screwing up much, is I like to let, if I'm going to use foundation, which I don't like, I choose to let it set, because I don't know, it doesn't like, it's not like house painting, you're not like brushing it on and then brushing it out right away. So especially this lighter one that's meant to get rid of my beard, I don't want it to look too like glossy lockjaw. So I'm going to let this just kind of sit and dry, no higher than that, only where the hair grows. So like I said, across the board, it was kind of like who you knew, right? And apparently even in this scene of Does Your Mama Know, which was like, I don't know, like I said, it wasn't the only thing going, but it was the only thing going of its kind, whatever that means. It was big. Ironically, it was in this restaurant that used to be like massively popular in the 60s and in the, I guess, early 70s, because I remember it. And it was in the same place that Does Your Mama Know was. I'm sure that's one of the places I probably think that they didn't level. Maybe someone caught them on it or whatever, like, don't level that place. It was Frascati's. It was Does Your Mama Know? So usually with these clubs, like, I don't know, all the time with these clubs, like, duh, Sean, unless it was two people, it was basically promoted and just kind of like owned that night by that promoter. I guess they would like just rent it, like, I don't know, like an apartment or like a sublet. So anyway, they own the night on these nights, right? Of like Does Your Mama Know? The equivalent of Does Your Mama Know for like the gay scene, like very neutral, kind of male oriented, if I can even, well, obviously the place I'm talking about was called the men's room. So that kind of tells you something, I guess. If it's the men's room, it really was actually. It was like the men's room. Meaning it wasn't certainly Does Your Mama Know, and I wanted to say like it was the gay equivalent, because drag queens were really not welcome there. Now for the straight crowd, it's so complicated, right? Believe it or not, for the straight crowd, I didn't want this yet. It was more like the novelty of it. Like they were so shocked that you would be there. I don't know. I mean, it was more like, it was like deer in the headlights, whereas with a gay scene that may not be like kind of too drag friendly, I don't know, you guys, it was almost like it was hostile, because at one point when I was doing boy drag, well, not boy drag, but when I was escorting my drag mom around before I started doing drag, I was kind of, we were like, I loved her to death, but I was also like, boy, so I was kind of like her bodyguard in a way. I mean, not really, but anyway, that's just meant to highlight the fact that this, believe it or not, gay club, and this was not like really just a phenomenon with them. It was not a lot, but there, like I said, there were a lot of, and I, no judgment, you guys, but there were a lot of, not a lot, but, well, there shouldn't have been any. There were a lot of gay, I was going to say like gay male cis type clubs, but I don't want to get into the politics. It was what it was. But the point being was, does your mama know? Right? Right. Okay. Now, blah, blah, blah. There we go. So I don't know how, well, no, I know how. Remember we talked about how I was like prone to like straight clubs, right? Because believe it or not, first of all, there was no competition because no queen I knew besides my drag mom, Candy ass, would go here. I didn't learn it from her, but any of these places that were like, kind of like Alexis Arquette was, but whatever, we won't go there. We don't speak ill of the dead, right? Love you, Alexis, to death. Really, I do, and y'all know it. Lexi. Remember that time in that condo downtown when he was screaming at those guys from the fire escape? Okay, I'm talking to the dead now. So this club was one of those, like I said, these cis clubs where I was more of a novelty as opposed to these other maybe not so gay, drag friendly gay guy places. So I ended up there because of this proclivity of mine, like I said, of, I don't know. Well, I just explained it to you. It was like there was no competition and I was a novelty. So in the weirdest of ways, it was safe. Can you believe that? It was like safe, kind of in that weirdest of ways, I don't know. I mean, well, okay, what helped was I knew the promoter. Now, excuse me, I know that's gross. A lot of times these promoters would be the doorman. They were like, how much of the time? Jeez Louise. Like, I mean, I almost want to say all the time during that. Oh, by the way, you guys, excuse me, it's going to be a mess, because I'm doing it. I literally can't see you guys. But we went over that and over it and over it yesterday. And we're not going to go over the fact that I can't see over and over again. Because it's going to be a bore. Excuse me while I just duck down a little. Oh, that's not fair to you guys. I could be doing all kinds of stuff down there. I could be cheating. So, anyway, so since the promoter was like always seemed to be the doorman, and you really don't see that in a lot of clubs, but I don't know, it was so popular, and it was kind of a loud club, because there was like this outdoor place at Frascati's when there was a restaurant, and usually the part turned into the smoking area, or in my case, don't go there because you look horrendous because there's inappropriate lighting. Okay, again, we're going for the straight out look. We can always go over it and over it and over it and over it and over it with my eyeliner because that was the modus operandi. So, long story longer, I got to know this promoter. Probably because I went there one time and, got him, first time impressions or everything, I guess. And it helped because not only this guy was like totally adorable. His name was Kiko. And he was so cute. And he was so nice. So automatically I knew,